What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. This is your girl, Coach Shine, and this is Divine Thoughts Thursday. As you know, this is our chance to connect and build, and you have the opportunity to ask me any questions. I get to engage with you guys in today's conversation. So I'm super excited because, I feel like I have a lot to share. So I have no idea what direction today's conversation is going to go in, but of course you guys know this is a open discussion. And so I'm just really excited because there's just been some exciting things happening in my life and in my world that I feel I've been able to just kind of anchor in and to really build a moment around it, build something solid and substantial. And so, as I get to develop the life and business that I truly want and desire, I really think about how much focus and intentionality it takes. Like, really taking ownership of your life, taking control of your destiny, and, being the player in your life, the main character energy, just someone who is, you know, really crafting your life in a very intentional way and just doing it from a place of owning what it is that you truly desire. And one of the big things that I've been able to sit with recently is the idea of completion and endings. Being able to complete things and to see the end goal of things, and then also preparing for what's next. Because what I realize is that there's a continuation, there's something that takes its place, there's something that shapes and molds the next. And it's like seeing these compounding effects, like how things build upon the last and how they all are interconnected and how they all work together. As someone who is big on brand, sales, life, and business coaching, and just being able to like be the CEO and craft your business and your life in a way that allows you to slow down enough to pay attention, to raise your awareness, and to essentially be about your business and really understand money and how it moves and how it flows and how it behaves, and being able to just really build something from the ground up. Like, this is an experience that's kind of new for me, and I feel like every time I really, think about just the course of my life, because I've always been an entrepreneur, I've always been someone who, since a child, had developed myself into an entrepreneur, but to really take the place of a CEO, like bringing forth my CEO self, I really started to see the different layers of it. Like, there's a part where you're kind of like, you know, in a state of survival, and you're moving through in a place of like finding your authentic self. And then once you move through survival and you face the truth head on, you start to develop your true self. And when you move in your authenticity, that is what then develops you into your self awareness. And then from there, you start to realize why things needed to happen and the learning curve that was involved, that allowed you to really learn those lessons that was needed to develop you into a CEO. And so I can honestly say that I've been an entrepreneur, but there were times that I put on my CEO hat, but I didn't really honor it. I didn't really fully know what the responsibility that it required. And so, of course, when you're doing things from a place of survival, you're just doing it to just get it done, right? There's not much thought behind it. But when you really can slow down enough in your life to start to pay attention and connect the dots, and then gain the knowledge of yourself, and really kind of make sense of the choices and decisions you make, I've started to realize that nothing goes wasted. Nothing in your life is ever wasted. Those are all experiences that shape and mold who you are today. And you really get to choose the life you want. You get to choose who you become, and you can change who you are just like that, right? You can develop yourself into something more, into something better. And so I've been really taking my time with developing these different parts of myself and connecting with the truth of what's behind it and why this is important to me. And that has just been able to create something more solid and and it's long lasting. It has a more lasting impression when you can understand why you do things, like the behavior and the habits that you develop, the beliefs that you developed, and then question those beliefs. Like really questioning them, but like understanding like the preparation that it takes. Because I think about even just like in my coaching business, you know, how a lot of people would have probably given up by now. If you understood my journey and what it takes and what it requires, I know that a lot of people is not cut out for this level of work. But if you have the determination, if it's a passion, if it's a purpose, if you know that this is your purpose work, there's a drive that you have that comes with you doing this work no matter what. Like, there are some people who would give up because they haven't seen the results or the clients that they want to work with yet. And I'm here to tell you that with determination, with your grit, with your understanding of yourself, with you seeing your own transformation happen, that's what keeps you in the game. Because it's like you have to find your success, you have to find your wins, and you have to define what that looks like for you at every stage of the game. And so it's not about you attaching yourself to a certain outcome or to a certain idea. It's about attaching yourself to your why, your purpose, what drives you, what motivates you. Why do you do the things that you do? Why do you want to do this kind of work? Why do you want to do this kind of business? And you have to be so secure in your business and in yourself enough that says, I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to learn what I need to learn, for me to become who I need to become, because it's only a matter of time, and you still have time, right? If I like to say it as, if it hasn't came into fruition yet, then you have the preparation for it. You're being prepared for it. You're being aligned with it. You're being the person that you need to become. And that to me is the work within itself. And so a lot of people miss that step or miss that part. They miss how much learning that it takes for you to build a brand, for you to build a business, for you to make sales, for you to work with the level of clients that you want to work with. And I think this is where a lot of people get it confused, because online, you're seeing so many people's successes, you're seeing so many people gains, you're seeing so many people income wins, and you're like, man, I haven't reached that within the time span that these people are speaking of. But that doesn't mean that it's not possible for you. It just means that your story is being written. Your story is still happening, and you're still writing it. And so it's like having the ability to be patient in your process, in your journey, and to go through the changes you need to go through, and to go through the lessons you need to learn, and to go through just you building up the mindset alone that you need to develop to work with the level of clients that you need to work with. It starts with you just really being determined and consistent and willing to just do whatever it takes. Because a lot of people look at me and they're like, wow, you really are, you know putting out wonderful content, putting out wonderful work. I mean, you built your business, you're doing the thing, but like, what keeps you going? And the truth of the matter is that I don't do it for other people. I mean, I do it for me first. And that's the truth. Like, I do I do know that this work is powerful because it works for me first. And I know if it works for me, then it's going to work for someone else. But I made it about me in a way that now I can see what processes people will go through so that I can understand their journey and connect with where they are and what their experiences are, and have some sound advice, have some sound information, because without that experience, can I really guide other people? Can I really support other people? Can I really coach other people? Right? And so when you've decided to do business for the long run, you're willing to do the work for free. I'm gonna be honest, like there's a lot of times I work for free. I do this work for free. I show up for it without a monetary value being attached to it, because I know that the money will come. Like, this is in my heart of hearts. This is in my truth. Like, I know the money will come. So what I would advise anybody who's starting a coaching business or just making a career change at any level or any point is to, like, don't make it about the money, but make it about the money. Like, and I know that's kind of contradictory, because it's like, what I mean is, like, when you're doing the work that matters to you because it matters to you, you're not doing it because of the money. Like, in all honesty, you're probably willing to do it for free just to know and gain the experience from it, just to build your body of work, just to build your credibility, just to build your portfolio, just to build your strength and being able to hold other people. But you also are in business, so you have to be business minded to make money. So it is about the money, essentially. But the goal is understanding that the money will come. Peace, Jeffrey. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? How's it going? And I don't want to mispronounce her name, but she says it's not about the money, it's about the service to others. Absolutely. And that's exactly right. And it's like, when you're willing to be of service to others, the money comes when you provide a good service, right? And it's like, when you love what you do, when you genuinely love what you do because it lights you up, it puts a fire in you. It's something that comes from your soul, and it's like a desire that you hold that nobody else has given to you and that nobody else can take away from you, right? That that's the work that creates impact, because it's like, by your fire alone, you being so lit up in loving what you do, that makes you magnetic. That magnetizes you to the people that understand your perspective, that understand your story, that vibes with your energy, that vibes with, the things that you're putting out in the world, because believe it or not, your people are out there. And so, I just look at even just the many stages of my business, how, you know, in me figuring out what my actual client was, who my clients are, and the people that I actually want to work with. Because I have different levels of clients. But in the actual grand scheme, the ideal client that I want to work with, I had to figure out what is the bridge for me to connect with them. And what is that offer that allows them to see the value in the win-win situation of us working together. When you figure that part out, you've already done the hard work, because that takes a lot of mindset work. Like, I look at where I am right now in my business, and I look at the mindset shifts I had to go through. And I think we underestimate that part. Like, When you see people's successes online, you got to look at the fact that they had to go through certain mindsets. They have a certain mindset and a certain way of thinking, and they had to develop themselves and become that version of them in order to hold that level of success. Now, I've also been someone who experienced a lot of success, and it happened just easy. It was given to me. And I'm going to be honest, that wasn't sustainable. It wasn't sustainable because I didn't develop it. I didn't keep up with the pace of the success that was coming in. It got overwhelming. It consumed me. So it's like I imploded on myself. And then that's when I had to do the real work to really figure out, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? What matters to me, and why is this important for me? Right? And we got Queen. Hello, Queen. How you doing? She said, OMG, I was scrolling in live and you are so pretty. You look so good. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. You as well. I appreciate the love, Queen. Thank you for checking in. So it's like really just honing in on your desires, right? Like, you can have anything that you want in this life if you're willing to work for it. And so that was the biggest thing for me. Like, it wasn't that I wasn't willing to work for it. It was like, why am I working for this? Why am I doing this? And then you realize that some businesses, just based off the business model that you built and the structure that you built it on, if it wasn't built on something solid, then it won't be sustainable. And so that's what I actually teach, and that's what is most important for me now, is getting people to understand how they built something and why. Like, understanding your foundation. What is it built upon? And so, and then also honoring the journey of it, because it's like, it may have worked for you at that time, but as we get older, as we grow, as we mature, we want different things. We value different things. And that's what started to happen to me. I started to value healthy connections and relationships in all areas of my life. Even when it came down to family and friends. Like, and this is when the relationship with myself shifted, because when I started to do the work on myself, I started to place the value where it truly was. And then I started to take inventory of the people that was around me and the ways in which we interacted and connected and related. And I started to realize if the relationship was healthy. Because again, when you're accessing your authentic self, now you're speaking your truth. You're owning your truth. You're setting healthy boundaries. You're really claiming your space in the world. And it's like, once you no longer are playing into the roles that kept you small or kept you in just situations that you just no longer aligned with, and you started to hold higher standards for yourself, you start to realize that you had to clean house. There was a cleansing process. And so I started to see myself really take inventory of my relationships on all levels. And it started with just looking back at my foundation. It started with my childhood. Okay, what areas did I need to address? What parts of myself did I need to heal? What parts of myself did I need to work on? And so when I started to do that work, and I started to own my authentic truth and speak from an authentic place, show up authentically, hold myself to higher standards, that started to trickle into my other relationships. And so this is when I realized that, I had to spend time learning myself again, and then reestablishing healthy connections. And then from there, the boundaries already in place. So now it's like you don't even allow certain things anymore. And it's like you have those standards and boundaries in place to where if someone doesn't meet them, you're okay with losing them. And not saying that you have to, get rid of everybody and everything, but if that's what it requires, okay, that's what it requires. But the truth of the matter is you want the best for yourself because your quality of life matters. Your well-being matters. And I started to really see where the problems were coming from in my life, and I started to eliminate them. And so once I did that cleansing process, I started to realize that I was left with myself. And then from there, I was able to elevate and really find out what was important to me, which was forging my own path, making my own way, doing it my way, and you know, building my business, being in my purpose, and just doing my own thing. That's what was important for me. And so it was like, okay, now that I've established that, what now? And then from there, I was able to, form a healthy partnership. And now I'm just like in the best place ever because I know that it's healthy, it's grounded, it's balanced, it's real, and it's authentic, and it aligns with my purpose. So once you come into alignment in that way, you're like, wow, if it took all of that, okay, but I wouldn't trade it for the world at this point because I'm right where I need to be. And I know that I have so much more to go because I'm in a very, very good place. And I do not take that for granted. And I just respect it for what it is, right? And so um, we have the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. You look like AI. Adobe, that's funny. I'm not AI. I'm very real. But in the world of AI, I can definitely understand. But I appreciate that. I'll take that as a compliment. Um, but, I really am just excited because of the opportunity that we hold to change our life. Like, if we look at the real facts, whatever situation that we don't like, we have the power to change it. We have the power to do something about it. And that's the truth. And when you own your power, right? Have a blessed day, lovely. Thank you. When you own your power and your ability to make different choices, to create new habits, create and formulate new beliefs, you really get to see your world open up. Like, we have so many options and opportunities that it's endless, it's infinite. And I truly believe that. I truly know that. I truly feel that. I truly see that. And so that is one thing that I really live by, is the fact that we have options. Okay, we have choices. And so when we really focus in and really take the time to analyze, what do we truly want? And for the longest time, I never really sat down and thought about these things. But at this stage, I'm like, it matters. It matters to know what you want. And so as I continue to build my life and my business, build my future, because your future is important. I know, this is currently Black History Month, and, there is a time for us to recognize the history because, history can repeat itself. But it's also important for us to also be future focused. What do we want to see? What do we want to see happen? What do we believe is possible for us? What do we believe that we deserve? Right? And when you think about those questions, like, what do I want? What do I deserve? What do I believe I deserve? And then really go after that, like challenge those things and say I can have it. Like one of the biggest declarations that I stepped into and had to own was the fact that I want to experience this lifetime being a multimillionaire, right? Why not me? Like, if I need to learn how to become a millionaire, let me learn it, right? And I think most times people think about the things that they want, but they don't think about the learning process of it, like the schooling that comes with it. So if it's something that you want, it's not about saying that that's so far fetched and is not possible. It's about you claiming it. It's about you being definite that that's the life experience that you want to have, and then figuring out how do you become that version of you? How do you become that person who has it, right? And so it's like I've set the foundation in place, and it took me some time. It wasn't something that happened overnight, but it took me time to look at the structure of my life and of my business to see if it aligns with me becoming that person. Because why not me? Because I believe that money in the hands of the right people can be life changing, right? Because money is a tool, money is a renewable resource, money is something that we all need for something, okay? So it's not a bad thing, it's not evil to want and desire money and plenty of it. So now it's just about now, how do I structure my life and my business and make the choices and decisions that allows me to become that millionaire version of me. And so speaking about money openly in that way freed me in a lot of ways, because a lot of people are ashamed to admit that they want money or that they want to be a millionaire. Like they're afraid to talk about money openly. And I've gotten past that. I'm not. I'm openly expressing that I'm placing things in place. It's not about me just speaking about it, hoping, wishing, and dreaming, but it's also about doing the things that's going to actually allow that to be my reality, right? So we have to put action behind it. We have to take steps, and I'm patient. You have to be patient enough to, like I said, to put the things in place, the systems, the strategies, the systems, the way in which you're going to make it happen. And trust me, it took time, it took years in the making, but I know that I'm finally on track to actually achieving that goal. So any goal that you have in mind that you want, you can achieve it with planning and taking action. That's number one. You can achieve it with planning and taking action. I love you too. It's not about seeking our truth, it's about seeking Christ and his righteousness. All right, that's awesome. So, again, guys, it's just about us really setting practical goals, okay? I'm very logical, and when it comes to planning action steps and then writing things out and making it plain. Like, I don't do the whole fantasy type way of thinking and living. I literally plan it out with some action steps, some increments and variables to go by to actually measure up, because all of that other stuff is fine and it has its place, but it doesn't do anything if you don't do anything. Okay? We got to take action. We got to have practical goals. We got to have a goal in mind, because that's what's going to keep us focused. We can't be aiming at something, a target, with no target. It just doesn't make sense. And I'm in the business where it has to make sense. things have to make sense. They have to line up. Okay. So what is the goal? you know, and I'm a very spiritual person. And one of the things that I'm still figuring out, because I haven't gotten the answer to yet, because I'm a Christian, I love Jesus, and, I'm here for it. But I'm also here for the real. And I also feel that, just the other day, I was riding down the street. And again, guys, y'all know this is where we keep it real. We keep it open and honest. I was riding down the street and I was passing by this church. And the church had a sign that Jesus is coming. Get ready. And this is just me thinking, because I'm like, I hear it all the time. Jesus is coming. Get ready, get ready, get ready. But what I'm still trying to understand about it, and maybe you guys can help me. Maybe you guys have the answer, right? This is what we're here for. If Jesus died on the cross and resurrected on the third day and died for our sins, and then he said the work was finished. If the work is finished, if he's already given us the keys, the way, the path, and the work is finished, what are we expecting Jesus to come back to do? This is the honest question I have. And I don't have the answer yet. Somebody, Clay, this is not AI. But seriously, what are we expecting? Not even expecting, but what is Jesus coming back to do? Because the work is finished. Now, I believe that the work can be done through you, meaning you can do the work that Jesus has done, and then, get the keys. You have access to the information and the knowledge, but the work is already finished. You get what I'm saying? So I just don't quite understand that yet. And I'm still searching for those answers. But it's just like, I know that there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that is done has been done. It's been done before. There may be new advancements in technology. There may be new approaches, but the work is like it's nothing new. We've seen that time and time again. So it is our job to do the work within ourselves, to come back to our truth of who we are, and then live in that truth, be a living example of that truth, and to walk in that truth and in that power. And I believe that that's what we're required to do. Like, I just don't understand what we're waiting on someone outside of us to save us. Now, Jesus has already done the work. It's just us that needs to do our part. And that's what I believe that I really live by. It's just knowing just the truth, and that we have so much power. He's given us dominion and power to live our lives to our fullest extent. And so it's on you to be the change that you want to see, and to be the change that you want to be. The power is in your hands. So I'm just here to encourage you just to think about that, and really think about, what are you really striving for? Because all of the fancy words and the cute the cute messages and things, it's okay. I get it, but it's like, it really doesn't do anything for me because it doesn't give me any instruction. And I believe that Christ gave us instructions, right? The instructions are in the book. We have everything we need, and we can get access to everything we need. You guys hear the saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I believe the answers come as we are ready for them, as we prepare ourselves for them. And that's really what all I'm speaking to, is just the preparation that it takes to become that next version of ourselves. Just a little something to think about. So, yeah, guys, I am super excited. Thank you. Welcome in. Greetings from Turkey. Awesome. I'm happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You know, we are here to just really have a good time and connect with one another from all over the world. So happy to have you here. But, you know, those are just some of the things that was on my heart to really share and to just speak to. Is just really take action. Really take inventory of the things that you want. Really think about, are you living up to your fullest potential? Are you living up to who you could be and who you want to become? And think about that next version of you. Like when you look at that, what is that next version of you is like? What does she have? What is she, you know, how does she carry herself? How does she feel? What type of connections does she have? What kind of business does she have, and how much money does she have, and what kind of car is she driving, and what kind of home is she living in? Like, think about those things, because those are the things that are practical. Those are the things that are tangible. And then do the energetics and the work around you becoming that version of you and living in your truth and just really having a good life. So that's what I want to kind of leave you guys with, just the thought of, like, are you living up to your fullest potential? And if not, then let's figure out why. Let's really go a little deeper. Let's kind of like figure out, you know, what's holding you back or what's standing in your way, and what kind of work is needed for you to get to the next level, because it's always going to be another level. And so I would love the opportunity to support you guys. What's up? I'm from Georgia. That's where I'm from currently. But I would love the opportunity to support you guys in a deeper way. I offer life and business coaching. So if you'd like to book a one-on-one session, I would love the opportunity to speak with you and to support you guys in your next step of life and business, and to really gain some new perspectives, give you some tangible action steps so that you can see some results in your life and see yourself headed in the right direction. Because I believe in mentorship. I believe mentorship is so powerful, and it's great to have someone to reveal your blind spots to you, to show you where, you know, you're leaving your potential on the table, or where your money possibilities are, and to come up with a real strategy on how to think and strategize and move to your next level. Because it's time, guys. No more holding back, no more playing small. It's your time. Let's really make it happen. Let's come up with a plan, and I just want to help you guys get there. So that is all I have for today's Divine Thoughts Thursday. This has been a real one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will have more videos coming soon. And I'm super excited because I'm going to be actually, pushing out my Life with Shine podcast, Beyond the Chair series, where I'll be hosting other hairstylists and getting them to share more about their story and their journey and their successes, and just really share more about who they are beyond the chair. So I'm really excited about that series. So be on the lookout for that. And if you want to be featured on my podcast, make sure you comment under this video podcast, and I will send you the link so that you can schedule a time. And yeah, let's keep this thing rolling. I'll be back here next week, around the same time, to host another session of Divine Thoughts Thursdays, where we have open discussions, questions and answers, and I'll just really give you guys some valid insight and perspective that can help you to move forward in your life and business. So until next time, friends, keep shining, keep working. Check out my website, drinkerhair.com. I have tons of courses and products on there that I think you guys will love. Thank you guys for your continued support. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.